Well done to everybody. Such incredible energy in the room. And I just want to first just say congratulations to the organizers of this event. It is set up with so much technology that a lot of things could go wrong. The fact that almost nothing is going wrong is its own kind of miracle. So a round of applause for the organizers of this event, please. Right, we're getting right into it. I don't want to introduce my guests too much because you know them. But let me just do a quick introduction for my language. Tochukwu MacFoy is in the middle of, in front of, at the center of, behind the most exciting cultural movement in this country over the past 10 years. You know, if there's an artist, a thinker, a podcaster, a pastor who came from the fringes where nobody took them seriously and became a mainstream star, you are almost certain that Tochukwu is going to be there. And all his work always has meaning and heart. So it's a pleasure to be here. Adaora, you know, if you like to perform humility or doubt, don't come near Adaora because she has no time for that. Adaora is one of the most original voices and thinkers and feelers in the public, making it easier for creatives and indeed anybody to be comfortable being who they are. To find, you know, the people that make it popular for you to say, this is my superpower, I'm awesome, I'm great. Adaora did it first when it wasn't cool, and now everybody is doing it, so it's great to be here with you.
Thank you so much, Chude.
You're welcome. And this man, you know, apparently I've known him for 10 years, but I didn't know that we had met. But I've been a fan of his work. This is a difficult country to monetize writing as an individual, and then to monetize that skill with a network of writers. It would have been easier if you went to sell yam, if you went to import spare parts. But, you know, he has been able to make it into an industry where people actually earn from their writing talent. So it's a real pleasure to be here.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Fantastic. Let's get right into it. I know some of you begged me to go easy, but I don't think they brought me here to go easy. I want to start from you, Tochukwu. When people see you in the public, you're always upbeat, supporting, cheerleading, you know, spotlighting. Has there been a time when it all got so exhausting that you wanted to stop?
This year.
I love it.
This year.
Right, tell me about it.
So because what I do is primarily, so I'm behind Adaora Mbelu's music.
Yes.
I'm behind Greatman's music.
Yes.
I'm behind
Greatman Tackett. Everybody knows
music.
which Greatman we're talking about.
I'm behind Elevate Africa. So
Right,
it's an African movement with the Olori of Worry.
Right, right.
Behind. So I'm behind a lot of work.
Right.
And then because of the era we're in, I now have to be at the forefront too.
Oh dear, please. Okay.
Because you need visibility.
Yeah.
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 And I think sometime this year, I just said, you know what, I'm tired. Because I thought that, I thought I could do back and front.
Yes.
And I didn't trust my team enough to carry some work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't trust my team.
Yeah.
And then I also realized that at some point, and this is very important, at some point, it can become so about the work that you lose meaning. So I remember we were in Ghana, we've done LA, we're doing work, and I'm like, it's almost like a stage play. So yeah, this year, but I think the way I got back to it was to sincerely not ask myself why anymore, because I know my why.
I love that.
You can know your why and still be numb.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. But to understand the responsibility for the future. I realized that, okay, you know what? For if you don't do anything again, you're fine. And I mean it. I'm fine. But there's a future. There's the Gen Z. There's a responsibility. So, for example, with the Afro Gospel movement, it's almost non-profit.
Yes.
It's almost non-profit because of many things. But because of the future, so it's no more about why. It's that there has to be a future, and that also pushed me back.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to follow up on that. You know, you said something that you can know your why. That means you can know your mission.
Yeah.
And still want to give up.
Yes.
You know, I remember the first day somebody told me, but you know, Moses is one of the greatest leaders in the Bible, but even he was depressed. I thought, seems like there's no escape for the... Why? What does that mean for young people who have not faced that, or people who have not come to that point? How can you know your mission and still be tired?
I think I was speaking today to someone and I said, envy is when you check out people's assets without knowing their liabilities.
Yes.
And that's what the world is right now. So you're checking out people's assets and you don't know.
Yes.
I think that sometimes if you measure yourself with everybody, you can lose steam.
Yeah.
If four of us are doing the same thing, you're like, why should I continue doing it?
Yes,
Like, Adaora is doing it. Please, you guys do it.
Totally.
So comparison sometimes is the killer of clarity, is the killer of joy, is the killer of meaning.
Yeah.
And we are now on a stage almost every day.
Yeah.
I remember speaking to, so I work with artists, I work with Christian artists, I work with MI, I work with everybody behind the scene. I was empty for a while. I worked with and for Adaora at some point.
Shocked, of course.
Yes, for and she. I'll talk about that here. And recently, we're working on Great Man's album, and Great Man was just looking for hits, because I'm like, no, Great Man, it can't be about hits. It just can't be about just hits and like, no, do music. And it's like, for, you know, that numbers, Spotify numbers, and that's my point. You can know who you are, but if you don't place yourself in the right lane, it becomes exhausting.
Yeah.
It becomes numberings, and becomes competition.
How many of you feel him on this? How many of you here have? I remember I tell you, I always like sharing this story. Many years ago, I went to visit my friend Linda Ikeji in her Banana Island house. And I wrote down in my newsletter, I came out completely demotivated. I just thought I'd been working for, and you know, I was shocked because I love her. I was rooting for her. I was shocked at the intensity of the comparison. You know, and by that time I had learned so much in my life, and I realized none of us is immune to this thing. None of us is immune to the energy that can be lost if you compare yourself with somebody else. Amen? How many of you here have been working for more than 10 years? You found yourself, but you get to a stage where the energy is missing. Somebody said, ew. I totally get it. Now, Adaora, I want to ask you, first and foremost, Adaora has one of the best podcasts in the market today.
Thank you.
Let me tell you how impressed I was. I was the first ones, I was waiting, counting down. You had invited me, but I was all over the place. So I was counting down to the first interview. First one was, I think, MI.
Yeah.
I finished watching it. I watched it again, recommended it to my students at the incubator we are doing with CC Hub.
Oh, wow.
And then
That's
because
great.
of that, I invited MI on my show. Because I'm like, okay, the conversation we had was contraband. You need to come and literally, the MI interview is coming out next week because I enjoyed it so much. And it's torture to wait for 2 weeks for another episode.
Thank you, Chude. I actually want to, before you jump, I know you're the moderator, I'll give you your thing, but
Go ahead.
I want to touch on something you just said, right? You gave the example of walking into Linda's house and feeling demotivated and then saying to yourself like, oh my gosh, what have I been doing?
Yes.
You also just gave the example of seeing me interview MI and being inspired by that, right? As opposed to comparing.
Yes.
And I think that that's the beauty of this dance between awareness, like understanding our human awareness, right? And saying, I'm aware of something, it exists, and I can acknowledge it, and then I decide what I want to do with that energy.
Preach. Where's my shekere?
You know, because like you said, we can't control the feelings and the emotions when they show up, because we're humans and we're in human containers. What we can control is our response to it and how we channel it.
Yes.
And the power is always in channeling it. You know, like I look at what everyone is doing, you know, everyone here, and as well as people in the audience that I know, I look at what they're doing, and every time I see something they do, I'm so inspired that, oh my gosh, that's possible. So I either tell myself that's possible, or I say, we're going to collaborate at some point.
Right.
We're going to do something at some point.
So
and
it's what you do with the feeling.
It's what you do with the feeling. Yes. And it's like what Foy was saying about how you see what other people are doing and you say, oh, you know, if Chude is doing it, there's no point of me doing it. Yeah. You know, we always say that you bring your own unique spin to the moment. Yeah. And I think the challenge that a lot of people also have is that thought that I must do it myself. If I'm not doing it, then it shouldn't have expression in this world. But you can look at what other people are doing and say, okay, if I'm not doing it, I can invest in it. I can invest my time. I can invest my money at some point, which I know you're doing. You know, I say, listen, guys, I can enter that market and I would kill it. Chude will kill it in that market, but he's like, I'll just give you the money to do it. You know, just do it, because then if the output of that will give me the same joy as though I was doing it.
It's amazing. A round of applause for her, please. Literally, that's what happened to the fund. I'm just thinking that all these exciting people, I can't do it all, I can't invest there. But if I can put my money in it, then I feel that sense of ownership in the success that this person has, even if it's psychic, or even if it's not that it's going to make so much money, but just I'm part of this energy in the world.
100%.
Amazing. I remember a few years ago I interviewed you when after my life changed and I had depression, quit my job, went. One of the first events I ever did in Lagos, Adaora was my guest on stage because I just knew she would get it. And I remember I was talking to you about how I struggled with social media and just the intensity. And then you told me something. You said you didn't struggle with it. And I thought that was the first time it occurred to me that we all have different struggles. How can you not struggle? What is the thing that one needs to do to not struggle with the intense negative emotion that social media can inspire?
So I think, first of all, right, it's a foundational outlook on life that I have, right, which is something I always say, embracing the and, right? I always believe that multiple emotions, multiple feelings can exist, right? I can feel jealousy and I can feel happiness and excitement and inspiration. I can feel sadness and I can feel joy at the same time. So I think, first of all, our acceptance of our humanity reduces the amount of resistance that we face, right? The reason why you resist and you feel like that you're always fighting is because there are times where we don't give ourselves permission to be human. So you say to yourself, why do I feel this emotion? Oh my God, let me shut down my social media so I don't feel this way. And for me, I've learned to just feel the feels, right? To accept that I feel the feels and to move on. So my move on game is quicker than most people. I will say that. And here's the thing.
But that's because your acceptance game is quicker than most people.
Yes, and it's also because I've built it over time. So it's not some special thing that was just, thrown onto me. I've built it over time. Where I'm like, I mean, sometimes, my friends always laugh about this, but literally, I'm the kind of person that if I was standing here right now and I was holding my laptop with everything that was on it and it fell down and it broke, everybody else would be like, oh my God, Adaora, your laptop just broke. And I'm the person who has already accepted that it has broken. Like, there's no part of me that is going to panic and be like, oh my God, my laptop just fell. I'm going to say to myself that it has fallen. One of two things, you can either get it fixed or maybe it's not broken, How
do you build that?
And So I believe that you build that over time through resilience, through environment, what you consume as well. Like, my Explorer page might not look like someone else's, right? And I believe that the same way there's social media algorithms, there's life algorithms, right? And he's written similar to this, right? Where the materials you surround yourself by, the environment, the community, your friends, who are your friends? Because these are people who are speaking to you every day. And whether you like it or not, their ideologies will creep into your belief system, right? So I try to surround myself with people who have similar ideology and who can have conversations around those things. So my friends have a deep level of awareness and consciousness. So I think, just putting yourself in environments that allow you to thrive and grow, especially if that's something that is important to you over time.
And that includes even curating the people that you follow on social media.
100%.
And the energy you interact with on social media.
100%.
Yes.
What you say yes to.
Yes.
Because the thing also is that every time you say yes, right, you're either choosing progress or you're picking a pattern that you're trying to unlearn. So sometimes you're regressing. You'll find out that there are certain patterns that we have in life, right? That certain experiences that we have take us back to that, which is why awareness is important, because then you can acknowledge that, oh my gosh, I'm falling back into that pattern that I'm trying to run away from, and it's like, I don't want to go back there. So what do I need to do different to move on?
I get that. Thank you so much for that. A round of applause for Adaora, please. I want to ask you something. Many young people, I did a Twitter thread this week about young people and having the courage Actually, I didn't even think of it. I did a speech. I just came in from Nairobi yesterday, and I did a speech, and it was impromptu. I was talking about following your inner curiosity. That many of us, the work we do doesn't resonate because we are not deeply curious about it. We're doing it because somebody else does it, or how every young person wants to be a lifestyle influencer because that's what is most popular, not what do I really want to do. I did a Twitter thread this week where I said, look, you need to ask yourself, not what other people are doing, but what do I really want to do? Now, I think you're the master of that because the thing you chose is so, and I have a lot of compassion for young people when it comes to this because the velocity of conformity is so heavy these days. Because you see people who look like their lives are moving forward. You don't want to waste time considering whether your life will move forward trying something different. So you just say, let me just follow what they're doing. But then you chose a completely different path. You chose writing. You chose building a community of writers. You chose solving the hard problem of how do writers make money. How does one find the courage to do something no one else is doing?
Do I have your permission to just think for 5 seconds?
Sure. That's the kind of, I think people who choose this kind of a topic are the kind of people who give you permission to do that.
Okay. So, allow me to say this. 10 days ago made it 11 years that I moved to Lagos.
Right.
So I moved to Lagos on the 1st of October, 2014.
Right. Oh, wow.
Now, I need to tell this story quickly.
No, that's fine.
Because I believe there's a young person in this hall listening to me, listening to us, that is probably at that state I was. I moved into this place completely broke. Flat broke, depressed, and suicidal.
Wow.
I was running a business in Enugu, and it collapsed completely. And I'm the first son of my family. And if you're from the Igbo side of Nigeria, you could tell the kind of pressure being the first son from an Igbo origin, right? And you're coming back to a home, not a bungalow, not a flat, not a duplex. You're coming back to a one-room apartment in Ajigule with 12 big Ghana must go loaded with books. That's all I came to Lagos with. Fast forward 4 years later, I was moving everywhere in Lagos looking for an opportunity. And doors were slammed at my face multiple times. I went for a conference like this. It was a women conference. But you see, when you are desperate, it wouldn't matter. So as a guy, I dressed and I went to a women conference.
Do you dress like a woman?
No. I actually I wore a coat.
Right.
So if I share the picture, I'm sure everybody will laugh in the soul. So I was at the back and I was listening to a panel session like this.
Right.
And a woman spoke so eloquently that when she was done, I approached her and said, I like what you said, and I would like to be your friend. So what do you do? I said, I train staff of companies. Right? So you mean you can train my employees? I said, yes.
Right.
So he said, okay, come over to my office. So I went. Now, the reason I'm telling this story is to lay a backdrop.
Sure.
So I went to our office and, cut the long story short, they signed me on a 1-year deal to train their employees, and that company is so fresh.
Right. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was the first time I was receiving that amount.
Right.
And from there, I paid for an apartment. And it was in that apartment, a small room, that I had this single mom as a friend. You know, we were just talking, and she said to me, Chinonso, I want to write a book, but I don't have time. I said, you know what I'm going to do for you? I'm going to be your accountability partner. So tell me, let's work out a timeline, and I'll follow up on you and make sure that things are going well. I'll follow up after 1 week. She'll tell me, Chinonso, I'm a single mom, I have kids. Okay, you know what, by next week I will send you a draft. A week later, I'll go and meet her. She will still tell me the same story. So I looked at her and I said, you know what, I have free time. Tell me what you want to write. Let me do the writing for you.
Right.
And she said, oh, really, you can do that? I said, yeah, why not? After all, I'm not doing much. So we started. And then I noticed something. A light bulb came on me.
Out of your head.
And could there be so many persons that want to tell their story, but they don't have the time to get it done? And because I had run a company before, I did not want to do anything that is just get it done, eat just for myself. I wanted to run an organization. So that was where the distinction started. So I did my research and discovered that there was nothing like that in Nigeria, in Africa, and I decided to start one.
Right.
Now, the first thing I tell young people when it comes to doing something nobody do, I always tell people that I've become so comfortable in being the outlier in every crowd. Because when I introduce my company, people, when you go to a place and they tell you, what do you do? That place where maybe you are feeling something online and you click, there's a drop down. I never see my kind of business.
Yes, yes.
You see musician. You probably see a podcaster. Yes.
Yes, yes.
But you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, it doesn't fit a box.
But you will never see.
Yes.
Today I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You can't find anything like that.
Yeah.
But this is what I keep telling young people. You must have a dangerously healthy self-esteem in anything that you're doing. That's the foundation.
Yeah.
You must be so positive in your self-image that when you walk into a crowd and everybody is saying something different, you are okay in your skin saying something else.
Well, how do you do that? Is it so? Wait, hold on.
Okay.
See, there is young people here, and there's a way that they can be disconnect. Be like, these people look so confident. Like when I finished writing my book, and the last 3 chapters were about doubt. And I showed it to the person who was living with me, and everybody who knows me knows that I used to be a very fearful person, and he was like, you used to feel fear? And I thought it was a ridiculous question. That of course I used to feel fear, but it occurred to me that there's no way he could look at me and imagine that I ever felt fear. So considering that young person who thinks sometimes we are just saying these things on stage, how can you overcome that fear?
I think we over-index on failure and under-index on action. Yes. We are more particular about failure than we are particular about the beauty of taking action.
Right. Love it. Love it.
See, I always tell young people there's a certain level of confidence that starts with you on the journey. That starts with you at the beginning. But there are certain levels of confidence that meet you halfway. You have to start to get to assess that level of confidence. You must be willing to fail. Do you know how many doors I knocked on Lagos that they were willing to? I remember this particular store I went to at Okpebi. I was knocking on the door and the woman said, young man, get out from that place. And the sales lady started laughing at me. You must be comfortable in being embarrassed in the journey to realizing your potential. You're already down, so what are you scared about? So many young people, they are so, I'm protecting my personal brand. You don't have personal brand. You don't have it. So what are you? Okay. Let's break it down. They will say no. Okay, that's a setting. Can we? What about they say yes?
What about if they say yes?
This is my formula. Young people, please practice this. Be shameless in your desire for healthy greatness. Be shameless.
I get that.
If I was ashamed of my whatever personal brand I had, then I wouldn't have gone to a conference for women. Now let me tell you, I started from my bedroom. If I project the picture of my bedroom, you will laugh. But when you called me at the time when I was using my bedroom for an office, I will tell you that I was at my corporate HQ.
I love it. Love it. Yeah.
Then we grew from my bedroom to my sitting room. If you called me while I was in the sitting room, I will tell you that I was in the office. If you called me while I was in the bedroom, I will tell you I was at home. If you called me while I was on the passageway, I will tell you I was going to the office or I was going home.
Which is the truth.
Why? The foundation for such level of communication was healthy self-esteem, and I was willing to put my foot out there, ready to make mistakes.
I love it.
The other thing I want to point out to young people is, you see, in this age of social media, the world is almost like we are living for others. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you want to check is what somebody else has posted. Be comfortable. See, I always tell you, I'm particular about young people. I have over 70 employees, and they are 99% young people. And every day in the office, I take time to teach them life. Because so many young people have been shortchanged in the equation. Young people, forget what we are saying here. Walk out there and be shameless. If you have somebody you need to speak to about your desire for results, or somebody that you believe you can partner with to get something done, the highest the person will say is no. But this is what I've discovered. When a man that is hungry is willing to stay on that state long enough without giving up, he will be fed. Yes, he will be fed. When you keep knocking on that door, somebody will open. There are some persons here, I'm sure when I introduced myself to him, 10 years ago, I met him in his office, but he did not remember me. I don't hold you against it. You are not supposed to remember me. And I'm okay with it because I needed to go and build myself and come back. But some of us were angry because you came to this conference, you greeted Chude, and he looked at you and turned the other way because you have not made it. It's okay, go and make it.
Preach! I
Yes.
get that. A round of applause, please. I don't know, there was something powerful you did last year that struck me. And again, it's just this yes, it's on it.
Can I get water, please?
Please, can you get what I had asked? Please, anybody in the organizing team, please. Thank you. Please, very important. Is there somebody working on it? Okay, thank you. Something powerful you did last year that I can never forget. When you got to 100,000 followers, you celebrated it, you know. And you didn't just celebrate it. You talked about all the people who would not have celebrated this milestone because of whatever other milestone other people have. And I guess it's still fitting with the same thing. And that's something you always do. You set your own scorecard.
Yeah.
You score yourself based on that. Now, leading from what he said, why is that important? That celebration part, that milestone part, that symbolism, that setting up an altar there. Is there a significance to celebrating your wins, even if they don't look like wins to other people?
Yeah, 100%. It's I think a lot of people wait for the world to celebrate them and give them their flowers. And I've always learned I always say to myself that by the time you see the thing that I do in public, that's the second victory. The first victory always happens in my heart. Always. I'm already victorious. I've already won the battle. By the time I'm sharing about something I'm doing or working on or any of that, it's the second victory. And that's for you to experience, because it's really important to me that I document my story, because it's very similar to everyone who's on this panel, right? We're sort of outliers, right? We are people who are not doing the norm.
Yes.
We're people who are building industries in spaces where there's no industry. There was nothing there to help us to really kick this off, right? And so if we don't document our stories, right, other people don't get to experience. So yes, that's why I document. But I will say this though as well. One of the things that really formed this for me is very early in my life, I was the star kid. I've always been the star kid, right? I'm the kid who came first in primary school. I'm the kid who was best in athletics, best in basketball. I was always that kid, right? President of music club at 10 years old, you know?
Yeah.
And what comes with that is people always expect excellence from you. Always. They'll clap for other people's 20%.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They'll be like, oh yeah, this person's doing great.
Yes.
And then I'll do 10x that, and they won't clap.
Because they expected more from
It's expected.
Yeah.
It's Adaora. What else do we expect from Adaora, you know? And over the years, I will say in my earlier years, it bothered me. It bothered me because I was always like, man, you clap for everybody, and then I do my own, and nobody says anything. And that was one of the things that actually got me to be able, which is why I said you feel the emotion. I said earlier, you feel the emotion, and then you decide what to do with it. I said to myself, I'm going to celebrate myself. I'm not going to wait for you to acknowledge what I'm doing, right? And I found that to become one of my biggest superpowers over the course of my life, because now I'm so laser focused on the purpose and the mission and the contribution to society, because I'm not doing anything for other people anymore, right? I'm not doing it because I need you to see it. I'm doing it because I want to do it. So every single time that you now see me doing something, it's always because I want to do it. There's no other reason behind it, right? So that 100K that you were talking about, the 100K following, just sort of celebrating that, for someone who has millions of followers, they may be like, what was your 100K to mine? But you know what it took? I'm not one of those people who blew up overnight, man. I don't have that story. I don't have I went and did Big Brother. I went and did something, and like the next day,
Yes.
I became a star.
Yes.
No.
There was no dancing.
No.
Yes.
It's been years. It's been years of building.
Yeah.
The community that I've built has been organic growth
Yes.
over so many years. The types of people in that community have been people who were pretty much picked, meaning that they're people who care,
Yes.
right? So the 100K people you see are not 100K random
Yes.
people. They're 100K people because people have left, people have joined, and people found me from a social media post and said, I like her style, and followed me and realized she's boring. And they've left, right? So it's a curation of the people who stayed. And I see them as humans, as people who really are dedicated and committed to growth. And for you to want to be here is powerful to me. So we need to decide what's important to us, and we need to celebrate those things. My best friend is here in the crowd, and one of the things she always tells me, she always says, Adaora, every time I'm working on a project, because I get so laser focused on executing, she always reminds me of what I also say. She'll be like, Adaora, just stand in the gallery, right, and watch the movie. Because we get so engrossed in the movie that you don't actually even see.
So you don't see how the progress you
don't see it.
The impact.
You don't enjoy it sometimes. You know, he was saying it. He was talking about, like, projects he's worked on where it gets monotonous and you're kind of like, what am I doing? So she always says, stand in the gallery and actually watch the movie. And we need to watch the movie of our lives, right? And celebrate, pat yourself on the back. See, we talk about affirmation. What is affirmation? Affirmation is not just standing and saying, I am loved, I am happy. That's not affirmation.
Right.
Affirmation needs to be a deep belief of those things. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And the only way that you can have deep belief of those things is to practice it over and over again, that it becomes normal. It becomes your normal. I don't think, and I may be wrong because I've been wrong many times when I say things like it. I don't think I'm going to be like, okay, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be a superstar musician.
Right.
But I stand in front of the mirror and I rap all my songs. I'm on a different path. Maybe one day Foy will give me a big stage and tell me, Adaora, we're doing a Great Man event at Otu. I'm pitching now at Otu Arena. Lumina should come and perform. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But it doesn't stop me from feeling that win in my bedroom when I look in front of the mirror and I perform the music.
I get that.
I celebrate myself and I say, Adaora, the fact that you actually woke up and even went, you had a sound playing in your head and you went and recorded it as music and you put it out and I have 2 albums on Spotify.
Love it. Yeah.
I'm like, the fact that you did that, please, you're the 1%.
Give yourself a round of applause.
So we need to do more of that to ourselves, right?
Fantastic. Thank you. So what you guys are saying is that confidence, security, clarity is a daily practice.
It is.
It's not
It
something
is.
that you just say, oh, I've gotten it,
It
and then
is.
I'm sleepy. Yeah.
It is.
Please go ahead.
So I want to say a few things. One line.
Please go ahead.
When you spoke about give to it, give cash.
Yes.
Please give good energy to things too.
Right.
Guys, let me be honest with you. Most of my great things happen when I give out good energy to things. So most of us be deliberate about that. Give good energy. So that's number 1.
Right.
And just adding to what you said right now. I also have worked so hard, and I realized that there's also in med school. So as a doctor, most people believe I was a doctor.
Yes, it's very good for you to say. I think when they hear medical, maybe they thought it's a company.
No,
That
doctor. Like doctor.
You went to study it.
And I'll give you something. So I worked in Yaba.
Right.
It's called 84. It's a military hospital.
Right.
84.
Yeah.
And it's for the poor, it's free, literally public.
Yeah.
And I want to say something that's powerful. I remember one lady who was pregnant. I remember that. And I was doing my internship. And I was meant to help the second. And she was, I think she even pooed. And used her poo on my, I remember, man. And I learned something that day. There's a thin line between belief, anxiety, and expectation.
Okay.
When a person is expecting, it is different from believing. A woman she's expecting a child. it's a different energy. It's a different energy. And most young people, the problem is, I heard you, sir. Do you know how much of data you got in Enugu? Do you know how much data you got in Enugu?
From the doing and the
Do you know how much? Do you know what failure is?
Yeah.
Failure is data.
Yeah.
The problem with young people is that they share process in public. And when you share things in public, you're not afraid to fully dig deep. Do you understand? So that's my, I'm like, yeah, I work with young guys too. They want to become directors after 2 videos. Yes. And that's not it, because, do you understand? Yes. So expectation is a journey, and it shows. But please, the timing of the journey is not in your hand. It's not in your hand.
Don't tell God when you blow.
No, you won't. And don't do that, please. It's not in your hand. Yeah. And just to layer a bit more, when Adaora spoke about celebrating 100 and 200, let me also be honest with you. People like Adaora, for example, work for everybody but themselves in the past. Right. And I remember working with her, and you're working for people, brands, and this is what I want to say. Sometimes celebrating yourself is telling the universe that I'm seen. I'm seen. I'm seen. Listen, guys, I know billionaires, family-wise. I know wealthy people. I know people who are celebrities, but they're not happy.
Yeah.
I know them. And I think that's not really worth it. I think your soul deserves joy. I think your soul. I think the soul. I think you should eat akara in the morning and enjoy it. Yeah, I think your soul. And I think that for me is everything. I think for me is everything. And this is what happens. I'm in a phase where I'm transitioning into something else, for real. And I was saying that clarity is warfare. Clarity is hard. It's like when you go up, you subtract more. When you come higher, but I'm like, in everything I'm doing, joy must be at the center. Because of how hard the world is, So please, guys, don't be quick to let process public. Bro, I want to know what happened in Enugu. You suffered. Guy, that's amazing. Do you know that suffering is thick skin? You kill somebody. See how you're talking. So those things are very important. So please, guys, failure is not bad. It's not bad.
Let me quickly say this. Let me quickly say this. I think one of the skills that young people, and when I say young people, I also include myself, right? By the way, I'm a father of 2 children, so let that be noted. Yeah. So one of the key skills.
Everybody on this table, let's keep moving. Let's just
see. Wait. No, first, Chude. You people keep saying young people. Yes. Me, I'm Gen Z, so
I'm Gen Alpha.
So
I'm Gen Alpha.
Right, okay.
Because even the whole program is young people themed.
Oh yes.
Right.
Oh, I think it's a beautiful thing.
One of the skills that I believe and I want to propose to we young people to dig deep on is your ability to process issues. A lot of young people don't know how to process issues. So you have a challenge, rather than sit down and process that challenge for what it is, you begin to create self-dialogue that will sabotage your advancement. Yes. You see it in the workplace. I hire young people, right? So somebody comes up to my office and says, Mr. Chinonso, this task that you gave me, I can't do it. And I said, you know what? I need you to go and get it done, and I need it in 1 hour. And then the person comes back and says he wants to resign. And you ask him why. He said, mental health.
Toxic.
Or sorry, you are being toxic. Now, hold on. Let's take the issue. Let's process the problem properly. Young people, we need to master that skill, because when you learn it, so many things you worry about will be caught by 80%. And I want to propose that when you leave this conference, please sit down and learn how to process issues, because it will help you. Because many things, like I said, that we worry about are self-created.
Right. Thank you. Round of applause for my panelists, please.
Thank you so much.
There's something that I think from all of this, and I'm so happy at the panel that I have. Something he said, which everybody here will say, is the joy of the moment. the joy of the moment. Like, when I look back, I suffered in this Lagos. So. And when I look back, the times when I had the most fun was when I was working from Omole to Ikeja and working for New Dawn and for MITV. And I thought, oh my God, because I was so afraid of failure, I didn't realize how much fun I was having. And then whatever you are today, when you look back, you see that you were building the threads of who you would become. And you think, oh, now that I'm in this place, I wish I had enjoyed that process. I wish I was more present with that process. We're not just saying it because we're wherever we are. I believe we're saying it because it is true. Yeah? So a round of applause for my panelists, people who are living authentically and building content that matters.
Thank you so much, superstar moderator.
Thank you, Chude.
Please, guys,
Let's
give
put your hands together for Chude.
Yes.
The incredible Chude.